At LabLab, we have just tested the Dreame L40 Ultra, and in this video, we are going to tell you what we honestly think about it. And for your information, if you are interested in this product, please note that we have put a link with its best price just below this video. The Dreame L40 Ultra is round with a white design. It measures 35 centimeters in diameter and 10.4 centimeters in height. This height is due to the presence of a LiDAR tower on its top, protected by a small vertical bumper. During our tests, we noticed that with this height, the robot did not dare to venture under all pipes. On the other hand, it manages to pass under radiators. We found that overall, it followed baseboards well. Its side brush is extendable and liftable, just like one of its two mops, which allows it to clean along the walls. At the front of the robot, there is a camera and an LED light. The latter turned on well to light the robot's path in dark spaces. The whole assembly is protected by a window and a front bumper. The mops are attached using Velcro on their support. They are fixed under the robot, there are magnets, and they remain in the station if you ask the robot to vacuum without wet cleaning. In addition to that, the robot comes with two different main roller brushes that are easily interchanged. The first is a classic rubber roller brush. The second is a Tricket anti-tangle brush with blades to avoid tangles of hair and fur. Unfortunately, this Tricket brush is not as effective as Dreame claims. During our tests, a few hairs still wrapped around it, and pet fur was still present even in the center of the roller brush. We will talk about it later in this test. The L40 Ultra has a 300 milliliter dust tank, accessible by lifting its cover. This tank empties automatically when the robot returns to its station, which contains a 3.2 liter dust bag. The station also carries a 4.5 liter clean water tank and a 4 liter dirty water tank. Next to the dust bag, there is a cleaning solution tank that the station automatically mixes with the clean water. The station also automatically washes the robot's mops with hot water on 4 levels up to 65 degrees and dries them with hot air to avoid bad odors. The washing frequency and drying time are adjustable via the application. Following our tests, we confirmed that the mops are well cleaned at the station, even when they are very dirty at the start. The dust bag can last up to 75 days before needing to be changed. A second bag is even provided in the box at purchase. Since mops make a lot of dirt in the station, a program exists to facilitate cleaning the base. Hot water is automatically put there, and a maintenance brush is provided to allow you to scrub the dirt. The process is simple and requires little effort. The repairability index of this robot is 8.2 out of 10. That is it for design and maintenance. Let's now move on to features. On top of the robot are 3 buttons: Return to Station, Power On, and Spot Cleaning. Under the cover, there is also a button to reset it if needed. During the first startup, we quickly managed to pair the vacuum cleaner to its application. It requires using the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band. Dreame Home is a very comprehensive application that can overwhelm inexperienced users a bit because it is so feature-rich. We notably found it strange to have to go into Clean Genius to access the robot's basic settings and choose between the 4 cleaning modes, the 5 suction levels, and the 32 mop humidity levels. In vacuum mode and in vacuum and mop mode, you can choose the paths: fast with the S-pass of the room without doing the edges, or standard with the contours of the room, then the S-pass. In mop mode after vacuum and mop, there are also intensive paths with a closer S-pass, and deep paths with a closer S-pass, and a reduced speed for improved cleaning. We were able to create up to 4 maps with multi-floor management. On a map, it is possible to map an entire floor even if impassable thresholds are present. You just need to move the robot to the inaccessible zone. Maps are fully customizable. You can define the floor type per room, add furniture, merge or divide rooms, activate no-go zones for cleaning or mopping, and place invisible walls. We were also able to program a cleaning type per room, for example, a more regular pass in the living room, and the cleaning order of the rooms. A completely new feature is present: the addition of passable thresholds and ramps. Since Dreame created an accessory that allows crossing thresholds, the brand also added the possibility to use it in its application, which is well thought out. However, we were not able to test it because it is not present in the box at purchase of the robot. Other settings are available, such as child lock, pet settings, 3D map visualization, cleaning history, remote control, notifications programming the Do Not Disturb mode, which prevents the robot from operating during a certain time slot, accessory status, etc. Obviously, we can see the remaining battery level in percent, the cleaning time, and the clean square meters, as well as track the robot live on the map. The camera allowed us to see a photo of the obstacles detected by the robot and monitor the house live. It is also possible to save photos or videos during monitoring, and the visual quality is quite good. Finally, the L40 Ultra is compatible with Alexa, Google Assistant, and Siri. Well, let's now move on to the most important part, our performance tests. Mapping our empty 11 square meter room took 1 minute 20 seconds and was well done. Mapping a fully furnished 60 square meter floor took us about 10 minutes and it was just as precise. In clear areas, we found that navigation was precise and methodical. On the other hand, when there were obstacles, the robot had more trouble keeping its course. It often retraced its steps instead of continuing to clean the remainder of a zone that was not yet done. To detect its environment, the L40 Ultra has an edge sensor on its side. A laser, an HD camera, and an IA camera are also present at the front to support the LiDAR. Under the robot, there are also 4 cliff sensors and a carpet sensor. Thanks to all this, it well detected the drop at the top of a staircase and the threshold between 2 rooms, avoiding a fall. To test its obstacle management, we distributed various elements in an 11 square meter room. The plant, the backpack, and the cable were all 3 correctly avoided. The robot approached them well without touching them, except for the bag straps, but without pushing them too much. The shoe and the ball were both pushed a little. The robot notably experienced difficulties with the sled base of our armchair. It partially climbed on it without completely encompassing it, and it failed to really clean the area. In terms of object identification, we found mixed results. The camera took a photo of each element correctly, but the IA did not always identify things well. What particularly bothered us was that it often took for obstacles things that were not. It also identified a thick strand of hair as a cable, bypassing it instead of vacuuming it, and it avoided a tuft of dog fur instead of passing over it. As for cleaning performance, we started by testing the suction. We placed coffee beans representing large particles, rice for medium particles, salt for fine particles, then hair in a delimited area of 1 square meter. Here are the results we obtained on a hard floor using Max Plus mode, a single pass, and a standard path. With 25 grams of coffee, the robot vacuumed 99%. With 50 grams of rice, 96%, about 40 grains remained, and it scattered a bit everywhere. With 50 grams of salt, 90%. And with a few hairs, we observed limited efficiency because of poor obstacle recognition. 3 hairs remained and a large strand that the robot identified as being a power cable, and therefore avoided. Next, we proceeded in the same way on a short pile carpet. With 25 grams of coffee, it vacuumed 88%. 22 grains remained scattered around. With 50 grams of rice, it vacuumed 96%. With 50 grams of salt, our most difficult test, it only managed to vacuum 46%. It again avoided an imaginary shoe, leaving a part unvacuumed, and with a few hairs, only 4 hairs remained. Overall, it must be said that we were a bit disappointed by the suction performance of the L40 Ultra. On one hand, because of the suction power of 11,000 pascals, which is not really correlated with the results, and on the other hand, because at this price level, we have the right to expect an exceptional result. Yet, for less than half the price, the Dreame Mova E30 Ultra that we had tested just before this one had offered better results. Furthermore, despite the presence of the Tricket brush, hair and fur were not all vacuumed correctly. A part still wrapped around the roller. True, there was less than with a classic rubber brush, but it is not perfect either. It is therefore not a revolutionary model for pet owners. Regarding carpets, we noted another major drawback. It is impossible to lift the mops without also lifting the side brush. These elements are inseparable in the application. To test the washing performance, we spread dried mud and dried coffee stains on the floor. The robot was set to maximum mode with the highest water flow rate. Here are our results. For the dried mud stains, it obtained a result of 4 out of 5. Almost all stains were eliminated, and it takes 2 passes to eliminate almost everything. As for the dried liquid coffee, the same, a result of 4 out of 5. Almost all stains were eliminated, and with the second pass, it eliminated almost everything. Fortunately, the mopping raised the standard. the water used was a bit warm, and the presence of cleaning solution also helped to obtain good results. You should also know that the robot is supposed to detect stubborn dirt automatically. During the test, we indeed had the impression that it passed over certain stains several times while modifying its path. For the noise in operation, here are the results obtained using our sound level meter positioned 1 meter from the device with each mode during suction on a hard floor. In silent mode, it emitted 56 decibels. In normal mode, 59 decibels. In turbo mode, 61 decibels. In max mode, 65 decibels, and in max plus mode, 68 decibels. Overall, this robot is less noisy than average, to the point that it is often the drive wheels that emit more noise when the robot moves forward rather than the suction breath. Emptying emitted 72 decibels at 1 meter distance. Mop cleaning between 48 and 63 decibels, and drying was really very silent with only 34 decibels. Finally, let's finish this test by evaluating battery life. This robot has a 5,200 mAh battery for a theoretical autonomy of almost 200 minutes and a charging time of 3 hours 30 minutes. During our tests, we estimated that charging could even be less than 2 hours 30 minutes because the robot recovered 20% in just 26 minutes. In vacuum mode with the standard level and in a standard path, the robot cleaned an empty room of 11 square meter in 6 minutes, using less than 1% of its battery. In the same room at max plus power, the robot finished the task in 6 minutes and consumed 1% of battery. Scaled to 100%, this implies a theoretical autonomy of more than 10 hours. We also tested the autonomy with obstacles. In standard mode, it took 16 minutes and 2% of battery for the robot. Therefore, we estimate that in real use, the autonomy can reach more than 13 hours and would allow vacuuming more than 500 square meters. Finally, the robot automatically returns to its station if needed to empty its tank and clean its mops, then resumes cleaning where it left off. And that is it for our test results. So to summarize everything, the positive points of the Dreame L40 Ultra are good water cleaning performance, exceptional autonomy, fast charging, maintenance simplified to the maximum, effective pad and brush extension to follow baseboards and go into corners, a discrete noise, good carpet detection, automated emptying and mop cleaning, and the automatic mixing of cleaning solution in the station. As for the negative points, suction performance that could clearly be better for this price level, obstacle detection and management by the IA which is imperfect, and the adjustment of the side brush which is inseparable from the mops. And that concludes our test. Thank you very much for watching. As a reminder, you will find the link to this product with its best price just below the video. And if you like honest vacuum cleaner tests like this one, do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel.